Hello, friends. This is Mac Payne, founder, owner, and operator of the Vietnam Veteran News Podcast, where we bring you news about the Vietnam War and the brave veterans who served there, as told to you by yours truly, a Vietnam veteran. In this video, I'm here to announce another tremendous podcast episode has just been published on the air, and you've got to listen to it. It's an incredible story of an individual who lost both his father and an uncle in the Vietnam War. He decided to go back to Vietnam and find the places where they were both killed in battle and pay respects to their memories. Now, can you just imagine what it would take for someone to locate where their father and uncle died in Vietnam? That was 50 years ago. Things have changed in Vietnam in 50 years. They have a new government. Many of the roads have been changed. Many of the rivers either stopped flowing or flowed in different directions. Towns and cities have changed their names. For instance, Saigon is now a Ho Chi Minh City. But that didn't stop Mr. Jeff Evans of the great state of Oregon. He wanted to go and locate the spot where his father, Norman Evans, and his uncle, David Evans, died so he could pay his respects. You've got to go over to the podcast and listen to his story. It will tell you how he accomplished this amazing feat. He took his wife and his two sons with him all the way to Vietnam. Had to travel 8,000 miles. I'll guarantee you, if you listen to the story, you will be inspired. And who knows, if you lost a loved one in Vietnam, you might decide to go back and follow in the footsteps of Jeff Evans and locate where your loved one departed this earth. I have made it very easy for you to go over and visit that podcast episode. You don't have to go Google the website and whatever. It's all right here for you. All you've got to do is go down below this 1960 vintage Philco TV set, and there you will find a link that will take you directly to that podcast episode, and you can start listening to it immediately. But wait, there's more. You'll probably notice when you go down and find the link to the podcast, you'll see another link there for something called Buy Me a Coffee. I have to admit, that is a bald-faced request for contributions to keep this podcast running. I started this podcast 12 years ago, and ever since, almost all the expenses to run the podcast, I have taken care of. I've paid them. So it'd be awfully nice to get a little help. So wouldn't it be nice to get a little help on keeping this podcast on the air? All you've got to do is go to the Buy Me a Coffee website, click on it, and there you can buy me a cup. They're only $5 each. And you're not limited to one. You can buy two or three. So why don't you do this old Vietnam veteran a favor and buy me a coffee? And then immediately go down, click on the link to the podcast, and listen to how Jeff Evans traveled all the way to Vietnam with his family and located the very spots where his father and uncle died in Vietnam. It's an inspiring story, and who knows, you might decide to do the same thing. I'd say if you have such an inclination, go for it. This is Mac Payne closing out this video. Thank you so much for listening to me talk about the podcast episode I just published about Jeff Evans, who went back to Vietnam and found the sites of his uncle and father's deaths in wartime. Thank you for listening. And why don't you go on over and listen to that podcast episode now? I guarantee you it'll be inspirational for you. So thank you for visiting this video. We'll talk soon.